from the most watched station in Central Texas. This is Kwtx News 10.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tara Mergener. The big storms have passed, but not before they did some damage. We have lots to tell you about, but first, let's turn over to senior forecaster Rusty Garrett to see what's going on out there now. A little better?
A lot better, in fact. We're going to take you back with water vapor imagery 24 hours ago to this time yesterday and watch as this amazing event unfolded and fed off of the moisture that was in place. These powerful thunderstorms not only produced tremendous volumes of rain, but as you'll see in just a moment, they also did some damage. Even a couple of tornadoes reported, but now this dark color out here is dry air, at least temporarily, starting to take the place of all the heavy rain. Now, as early as 2 o'clock this afternoon, we still had some showers and thunderstorms that skirted right across the southern Bell County area. Fortunately, all of the big rain has now marched down along the Texas coastal plains. We've got more about the weather in the days ahead. That's coming up in just a few minutes, Tara.
Thank you, Rusty. A desperate search is underway after someone may have been swept away by floodwaters in a car. More than 70 emergency personnel, including swift water rescue teams and air assets, are searching right now. Crews believe it happened on Fort Hood at Clear Creek near Turkey Run Road. Nobody is saying if it was a military vehicle involved or not. 3 other vehicles got stranded on post in high water this morning. Those drivers are okay. All low water crossings on post are closed. Nolan Creek in Belton rose so quickly after 6 inches of rain it flooded areas of downtown, causing street closures. News 10's John Carroll joins us live there now. John, how do things look at this point?
Tara, you will not believe the difference between our live shot at 12 o'clock today and right now. In fact, if you look behind me, you will see the bridge and you'll see the watermark, 12 feet of water that subsided at least 12 foot. All across this area. It's just amazing what's happened. People, though, here say they've seen it time and time again, and they still came to see the rapidly rising, rushing waters. Now, this is what they saw. Nolan Creek rose 14 feet above normal just at Penelope Bridge next to downtown. And then under Main Street, officials told us at one point it was more than 20 feet above normal. Floodwaters flowed beneath the Bell County Jail and into the parking garage of the sheriff's office. Still, most residents say they're used to this, and they respect these torrential waters.
That thing that you all say, turn around, don't drown, is not just a saying. It's good advice. We saw a car earlier today that was submerged to just the top.
Well, even wildlife headed for higher ground. We got some shots of some birds on the rocks. Right now, we're not able to show that. We'll show that to you at 6 o'clock. And also, people were avoiding this area. I just want you to see, if you can, come back to me just for a second, Tara. I want you to follow me. This is not a Colorado River. This is the Nolan Creek. This is the park where 6 feet covered this park just a couple of hours ago, and now it is filled with people. We're trying to get a hold of a shot right now where you can see the park. Neil is doing a great job. The park right now is almost full of people. They're walking all up and down this area, and it is amazing what has happened in the last 4 hours. There's damage left behind, but it's minimal. Live in Belton, John Carroll, KWTX News 10.
All right, great pictures, John. Thank you. The water from these storms is having a big impact today on Lake Mejia. Many residents there are reporting flooded homes, triggering voluntary evacuations. News 10's Rissa Shaw is just back from Lake Mejia. Rissa, how bad is it?
Well, Tara, the flooding is severe, but I'm told it's not as bad as the storm that hit the area at this time last year. While many homeowners are soaked and inconvenienced, the good news is there's been no reported injuries and they're pretty prepared. The flooding is becoming a way of life for homeowners in Lake Mejia. There's about 250 people living in the area. Not all of the homes are flooded, but everyone is affected in some way. And homes that are dry right now could end up in water if the levels keep rising. When I was out there earlier today, the water was rising 6 inches an hour at one point. The deputy chief of the volunteer fire department is closely monitoring the situation.
We don't know. A lot of the sources are down with their internets and stuff, so we really don't know right now how high it's going to get, but the water's still flowing in pretty good over there, so all we can do is just sort of play it by ear on how high it's going to get.
Homeowners there have gotten pretty smart, so before the levels rise, many of them bring their extra vehicles and equipment to the volunteer fire department headquarters where it's higher ground so they don't get damaged. Again, the evacuations are voluntary at this point, but the water levels are still rising. Officials say it's fine to use their boats around your home, but they're asking people to stay away from riding boats around the lake because the currents and the debris make it very dangerous, and the waves could make it even worse for everyone else. In the studio, Rissa Shaw, News 10.
Thank you, Rissa. We are getting a good look today at the tornado that blew through eastern McLennan County late last night. This is a shot from a video a viewer sent us. Lightning lit up the sky enough to this. The National Weather Service says it was an EF0 tornado. The tornadoes left behind some damage near Mart and the Battle Lake Golf Course. Some buildings were damaged and trees were blown apart there, but right now no injuries are reported and there's no word on any major damage. A man is lucky to be alive in Temple after his pickup truck is swept away by high water. First responders were sent to Riverside Trail just before 10 o'clock this morning. A crew and a rescue boat was able to get to the man at about an hour later. They say they found him clinging to a tree. Officials say he is expected to be okay. The downpours triggered a mudslide in a construction site on I-35 in Waco. It happened just north of McLean Stadium on I-35 around 8 a.m. Mud covered at least one lane before crews were able to get to the scene and start cleaning up. Part of the interstate had to be closed during that time. A three-vehicle crash involving an 18-wheeler shut down a portion of I-35 south this afternoon. The accident happened on exit 313 near Troy. DPS says a minivan hit the back of the rig and got pinned. The passenger of the minivan was trapped, but first responders were able to free them. And there's big road problems in Bell County, too, thanks to flash flooding. By 9 o'clock this morning, deputies shut down 17 roads, performed more than 24 high water rescues, and also tell us one home was flooded. No injuries are reported. And a Killeen church is badly damaged. The congregation at True Light House of Prayer on North Gray Street needs a new place now to hold services. The pastor tells us he opened the church at 5 this morning and was stunned to see the roof collapse and the floor was flooded. He says he is still hoping somehow to hold service on Sunday. And check this out in Harker Heights. High winds toppled part of that roof at a Sefco on Indian Trail. This damage happened early this morning when the heaviest storms rolled through. No word on how long it's going to take to reopen the pumps there. In other news, a man with a shotgun is shot by Waco police after an attempted robbery. Police say it all started on North 26th Street and Colonial. They say he walked into a store and demanded money from the owner. When officers showed up, he took off. They say he pointed the gun and fired at them. After crashing during the chase, police fired back, but he is expected to be okay. And this week on the Wheel of Justice, Waco police need your help finding Antoine Haynes. He is 27 years old and weighs 165 pounds. He is wanted for assault on a public servant. If you know where Antoine Haynes is hiding, give Crime Stoppers a call. If your tip leads to an arrest, you could cash in. And social media has turned the forcible removal of a passenger from a United Airlines flight into a public relations disaster. Officials say passengers on that flight were asked to voluntarily give up their seats since they were overbooked. That's when the man refused and was dragged out of the plane. On Wall Street, the company's stock took a $1 billion dive before rebounding. In China, outrage on social media led to calls for a united boycott. Thousands online have already signed a petition calling for the CEO to step down. The White House even weighed in on the issue.
To watch a human being get dragged down an aisle with their head banging off armrests and not think that it could have been handled better, I would assume that we could probably all agree on that.
The CEO of United has promised to complete a thorough review of his airline's policies and how employees work with local law enforcement by the end of this month. President Trump has dispatched his Secretary of State to lead talks with Moscow. They'll be talking about Syria's use of chemical weapons and the threat of a nuclear war with North Korea. Craig Boswell explains.
We want to create a future for Syria that is stable and secure. And so Russia can be a part of that future.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is preparing for meetings in Russia, and he's prepared to tell the Kremlin it's time to make a choice, join Western allies or stick with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad.
We're in for some tough negotiating right now in terms of really trying to get the Russians to exert some influence here so that Assad does not conduct additional chemical attacks.
But Russia continues to deny the Syrian government was behind the chemical attack which killed more than 80 people. Tuesday, a senior White House official accused Russia of a cover-up.
When it comes to its support of Syria or its lack of, frankly, acknowledgement of what happened, the facts are on our side.
North Korea's nuclear program will also be a topic of discussion, with Russia expressing concerns the White House will launch a unilateral attack on North Korea.
President Trump sent a tweet Tuesday saying North Korea is looking for trouble. If China decides to help, that would be great. If not, we will solve the problem without them. USA.
Their behavior and their actions with respect to the missile launches is not tolerable. We need stability in that region, and I think he has put them clearly on notice.
The U.S. is conducting military exercises in South Korea, and the Pentagon has positioned an aircraft carrier off the Korean peninsula. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
Still to come here on News 10 at 5, a national task force recommends against having the PSA test. Why they're trying to shift their guidelines next. Plus, a love story 64 years in the making. And for the latest on the stories we told you about and so much more, check out our website at kwtx.com. Back in a moment.
You're watching KWTX News 10 with Tara Mergener and Rusty Garrett. KWTX News 10, the breaking news and weather authority.
If you've been injured in an accident and the insurance company tells you that you don't need a lawyer, then you need a lawyer. HDSM Trial Lawyers, justice for you.
Awesome, man. Every shake half price after 8?
Yeah, man, even this ice cream slush? It's so cool. Looks like a lot of people got the memo.
Why didn't I get one? Oh, is it because I don't have one of them fancy printer phones?
A fax machine?
I don't know, man. I can't keep up with this technology.
TJ, you have a smartphone.
Yeah, and I use it every day, and it hasn't made me any smarter.
But that's a cherry stem. Cherry stem.
And my straw's broken.
Did you get the memo? Shakes and new ice cream slushes are half price after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
At the Texas Veterans Land Board, we offer 30-year land loans for up to $150,000 with a minimum 5% down.
If you're a veteran or military member in Texas, give us a call or visit us online, and you'll be a landowner in no time.
When your windshield needs to be fixed, trust Safelite Auto Glass. Our exclusive True Seal technology means a strong, reliable bond. At Safelite, we stand behind our work because the ones you love sit behind it.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Back in 1924, in the year that I was born, on a hill, on a mountain they called Joy, I was 7th in the line.
It's the Ram Spring Clearance Event, so long live the trucks with load-leveling rear air suspension and the proven capability of a Cummins turbo diesel engine. They have the strength to lift an entire community. The Ram Spring Clearance Event is the only place to get the longest-lasting pickups in Texas.
Right now, during the Ram Spring Clearance Event, get 17% off total values on the purchase of a 2017 Ram 1500 Lone Star Crew Cab with a Hemi V8 engine.
If you've got a yard, you may plan on digging in it, like to build an addition, put in a pool, or bury your pirate booty. But you should know that throughout the state of Texas, there may be pipelines buried underground, and if you hit one, you've got trouble. Sorry. So before you dig, call 811 to have any buried pipelines located and marked at no charge. For more tips on pipeline safety, visit pipeline-safety.org. A message from the Texas Pipeline Awareness Alliance.
KWTX News 10 is the breaking news and weather authority.
Welcome back to the news at 5. It seems the rain is not good for Easter egg hunts, unfortunately. The flashlight Easter egg hunt on Fort Hood this Thursday has been canceled. The announcement was made on Facebook earlier today. In health news, fewer than 1/3 of men are getting screened for prostate cancer. Now, a national task force that recommended against having the PSA test is making a major shift. Kenneth Craig has details.
Larry Blumberg's life changed when his doctor diagnosed him with prostate cancer last year.
We're in time. He said, I'm not sure if we would have been in time if we, had done this a year or two from now.
The 69-year-old's cancer was detected after Larry opted to have a PSA blood test, even though he had no symptoms, and the screening was not recommended by the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force. Now, based on the latest research, the group says men 55 to 69 should have a conversation with their doctor and make a decision for themselves.
Men can reduce their chance of dying of prostate cancer and reduce their chance of having cancer that spreads throughout their body. These are really important benefits, but they occur in a small number of men.
The concern has been that PSA testing results in overdiagnosis and overtreating cancers, which can lead to serious issues like impotence and incontinence. Dr. Herbert Lepore says advances in detection and closely monitoring low-risk cancers are helping men avoid drastic treatment.
We can decrease the number of men who will undergo an unnecessary biopsy, and we have better tools to really assess the aggressiveness of the cancer.
Larry needed surgery to remove his prostate. He's had some side effects, but says they're getting better.
The side effects are nothing compared to the fact that, I'm going to live a long life and enjoy my kids and my grandchildren.
Larry is cancer-free and his PSA is undetectable. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
The task force continues to recommend against prostate cancer screening for men 70 and older. Rusty.
Well, gone, thankfully, are those almost tropical style downpours. Many unofficial totals claimed almost a foot or more of rain in a few places. Official totals tallied by the National Weather Service ranged from 5 to over 8 inches. And this is just a small sampling. Rest easy, friends. No sign of a repeat anytime soon. We're back with details after the break.
Time Warner Cable is now Spectrum, and we're redefining what a cable company can be. But don't take my word for it. Take Joe's.
Contracts? Satellite service as unpredictable as the weather? No, thank you. I switched to Spectrum, and now I get free HD and thousands of titles free on demand. Boom!
Get Spectrum TV for just $29.99 a month. Call 844-351-2999 and switch today. Like Ann.
After we switched, 100 megabits per second gave us more than enough speed for all our devices all the time.
Get Spectrum Internet for $29.99 a month with no data caps and a free modem.
I switched to Spectrum Voice, and now I get unlimited nationwide calling, plus unlimited calling to Canada, Mexico, and more, with no added taxes or fees. Oh, hey.
Call 844-351-2999 and get Spectrum TV, Internet, and Voice for just $29.99 a month each, with no contracts and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 844-351-2999.
The Jeep brand presents Great Moments in the Great Outdoors. April 27th, the Wright family learned to live off the land.
Ow.
June 18th, Dave unleashed his inner hamster. August 9th, Brian Jr. looked away from his phone for 3 whole minutes. Find your moment with great deals at the Jeep Spring Clearance event.
Right now, well-qualified lessees can lease the 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $295 a month.
CBS Tonight.
What do we know?
NCIS is more than a team.
Care to share?
They're smart.
Solving murders, fighting crime.
And unpredictable.
Is he implying I'm the good cop?
But most of all, they're family.
Your family is crazy. Yeah. But they're still family.
NCIS. Then, TV's #1 new show is Bull.
First instinct's usually the best.
He's not a lawyer, he's a jury consultant.
Into the storm we go.
Bull, after NCIS, CBS Tonight.
News 10 weather brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. From KWTX News 10, the Weather Authority, here's Rusty Garrett.
Good afternoon and welcome back. Well, for not all, but certainly for a majority of Central Texas, this is a pretty good sight. No bright, vivid colors on the radar. The last of the showers actually moved out of our southeastern counties about an hour or so ago, but those big rains are still in place, and they are soaking the coastal plains and parts of South Texas, even a few still very strong to severe storms down I-35 between San Antonio and Laredo. But we just got some clouds in place and even a few little blue spots as we look live along US 190 from our News 10 sky camera over Harker Heights, an area along with much of Bell County that just got soaked overnight and early this morning, several rounds in fact. Well, let's check live conditions out at South Bosque Elementary. This is one of our sites at the Midway Independent School District. They're at 69 with cloudy skies, hardly any wind. Humidity's pretty high thanks to the 2.3 inches of rain that they saw today. Now, let me caution you, these are airport rainfall totals. There were many locations that well surpassed these totals, but certainly shows that from Mejia to Waco, especially down across Bell County, heavy-duty rains. Some folks, though, on either side, not quite so much. Temperature-wise, well, we've been cool today. In fact, the clouds and the passing showers this morning are keeping our readings some 5 to 12, 13 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. And the timecast keeps the clouds around. We may even see a sprinkle pop up randomly. 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, not much change. Mostly cloudy, many locations staying dry. I will say that by the time we reach the early morning, there could be in the overnight some patchy fog, so allow a little extra time to get where you're going. Well, part of the problem over the past day and a half, a stalled frontal system that just sat over us, and that front is still kicking up some big thunderstorms. We're kind of right on the threshold. That's why we've still got quite a bit of moisture and humidity in play, which could result in a sprinkle, but nothing heavy expected. And actually, as we move through the timecast between now and tomorrow, well, that stationary front is going to fade. Still can't rule out a few passing showers, but again, no severe weather and no real heavy downpours expected. But there may be, again, some patchy fog. And really, over the next couple of days, the odds of rain remain only at around 20%. So we can breathe a sigh of relief. But please allow some extra time if you must be out late tonight, and be especially cautious in those areas that we pointed out that have had the high water, because it sometimes takes a little while for that to completely recede, especially along rivers, streams, and creeks. Well, for tonight, 57 to 64, a few sprinkles and that patchy fog, reducing visibilities for a time in the morning. And then tomorrow, it should be a pretty good day, just cloudy, maybe a slight chance for an isolated shower over the next couple of days. We get a bit of a break on Friday and Saturday, climb into the lower 80s, and then have another slight chance for some scattered showers Easter Sunday on into Monday and Tuesday. No real sign of threatening weather, thankfully, and temperatures will be relatively unaffected. Tara will be back as News 10 at 5 continues.
Step into savings at the Ross Spring Shoe Event. If you're looking for the latest styles, a great selection of the brands you love for a fraction of what you pay elsewhere, then you've got to get to the Ross Spring Shoe Event on now.
Deciding to replace the floors in your home can be a major decision, but at Waco Carpet, we make it easy. With the best pricing and service on carpet, tile, laminate, wood, and more. Get our Big 3 guarantee, 12-month no-interest financing, a lifetime labor warranty, the 30-day love it or replace it guarantee, and rapid installation that will keep the disruption to your home to a minimum. Get Shaw Anzal nylon carpet for only $2.99 per square foot, and we always meet or beat any big box store price. So come by Waco Carpet and see how easy new flooring can be.
Chevy is the most awarded car company 3 years in a row. Really? Let's see how quickly you can read through all their awards.
2017 Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Kelley Blue Book 2016 Best Resale Value. 2016 JD Power Highest Quality Ranking. 10 Best blah, blah, blah. 2016.
Only about 90 more to go.
That's a lot of awards.
Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing retail brand in 2016. Celebrate with us and get 16% below MSRP on select Chevy vehicles in stock. Chevrolet, the fastest growing retail brand in Texas.
For over 20 years, Jason's Lawn Care and Landscaping has been taking the work and worry out of home and commercial lawn care with maintenance programs to handle standard maintenance, fertilization, and lawn pest control. Jason's Lawn Care will establish the best course of treatment so that you can enjoy your yard with family and friends. It's the season to start preparing for a perfectly manicured, healthy, and pest-free lawn. Call Jason's Lawn Care and Landscaping today, 254-857-9180.
Spring into savings at the Ross Spring Shoe Event. If you're looking for the latest styles, the top brands for men, women, and kids for a fraction of what you'd pay elsewhere, then you've got to get to the Ross Spring Shoe Event on now.
Prom is the highlight of the year for most high school students, but for one couple in Indiana, it was the beginning of their 64-year love story. Cassidy Williams has more.
Joyce Kevorkian and Jim Bowman were prom dates back in 1953.
Our parents would have fallen over dead if we'd said we wanted to get married then, when we were 17. I don't think we thought seriously then. No. We were just having fun dancing.
The couple went to different colleges and lost touch. But 64 years later, after both had lost their spouse of more than 50 years, Jim decided to write Joyce a letter, restarting their love story.
We telephoned together for many hours and emailed for quite a bit before I actually came out to visit her. And we kind of asked each other, well, what happens when we see each other for the first time in 64 years if we don't like what we see? You were just as beautiful now, 64 years later.
Joyce showed him around South Bend, and it wasn't long before they decided to take their relationship to the next level.
And I remember you said on the phone, you know, will you marry me? And I said, that's a good idea.
I probably said that after we asked each other if we could hook up.
The two just now returning from their honeymoon after a small, intimate wedding with close family, rekindling the flame that was always there.
Our getting together was meant to be.
That's
it was like you know, they say that a person never forgets their first real love, and it was like there was a spark that was still smoldering in each of our hearts.
With over 100 years of married life between the two of them, they feel confident their marriage will be a success.
The key to a happy marriage is to know when to shut up. And he said the key to a happy marriage is say, yes, dear. So that's our philosophy.
So good to see. We'll be right back.
AutoMax has $55 million in inventory, and we're discounting it all during our store-wide reduction events. You'll get the biggest savings on the largest new and pre-owned selection in Central Texas. Right now, we're offering below market value for our vehicles and above market value for your trade. You won't believe how much we have to choose from and how much you're going to save. It's our $55 million store-wide reduction event only at AutoMax.
AutoMax, it's you and me.
My buddies and I have been boiling crawfish for years. So when our winery decided to do a boil for a few hundred customers, I knew we had to go to H-E-B. We get everything at H-E-B, from the corn, potatoes, and shrimp, even the plates. And of course, 300 pounds of crawfish. So whether I'm boiling for a few friends or a few hundred, H-E-B is always on my invite list. This is the best live crawfish department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
Are you a doctor or a counselor? Perhaps you're a paramedic or a sheriff's deputy. Are you seeing more people expressing or attempting suicidal or homicidal thoughts? Are they unable to care for themselves or get the help that they need? There is a place that can help those that are struggling to overcome the obstacles in their lives. The professional staff at Cedar Crest are here to help. Don't waste another moment. Call Cedar Crest today and let us help them get on the path to recovery. Cedar Crest, enriching the lives of those we serve.
Join the solar revolution. Call Holtec today.
Our story tonight, Wonka is back. This time, the eccentric tycoon has hidden golden tickets that could get you a cash prize up to $250,000 instantly. Or you can enter promotional drawings for a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas and the chance to win up to $1 billion. I'm being told now that to find the golden ticket, you must do the following. Go to your local retailer and play the Willy Wonka Golden Ticket from the Texas Lottery.
The Willy Wonka Golden Ticket from the Texas Lottery. Try your luck before they've all been found.
Here's the CBS Evening News tonight. The White House today compared Bashar al-Assad to Hitler, but got the history lesson wrong. Plus, we have new details on the gunman in Monday's San Bernardino Elementary School shooting. A PR nightmare for United Airlines after their response to this incident. And veterans scoring goals both on and off the ice. We'll have those stories tonight on the CBS
Evening News.
All right, here's another look at the radar. Looks good here. Not such a fun day down in South Texas. If you are traveling south, you're going to run into the rain and the thunderstorms that we had to deal with over the past 18 to 24 hours. A couple of days with slight chances, nothing big, and again, it looks dry except for some fog tonight.
All right, thank you, Rusty. See you at 6.